Good morning and welcome to Light Reflections from First Friends. We are glad you have chosen to join us for this virtual worship service and hope you find it beneficial to your spiritual journey. We consider this an abbreviated version of our in-person meeting for worship for those wishing to join us from a distance. If this is your first time joining us, First Friends is a thriving, progressive Quaker meeting in the city of Indianapolis, Indiana. We consider ourselves a loving, inclusive, joyous gathering of people seeking to know truth under the leadership of God's Spirit. All are welcome, no matter race, age, cultural background, sexual orientation and identity, marital status, physical and mental ability, family structure, or economic circumstance. Our hope is that through this worship experience, you will discover our faith community is unlike any other, where silent meditation is as important as the spoken word, where we emphasize the importance of one's personal encounter with the divine, and where we seek to support one another as we discover truth together. Now we invite you to center down and enter this virtual worship space with us.
Joy that I am one. I stand in humble gratitude for every living sign that I am meant to share in your handiwork divine. No sparrow goes unnoticed, no star slips through your hand.
Good morning, friends, and welcome to Light Reflections. For today's message, I ask that you take your laptop, your iPad, or phone and find a comfortable place somewhere outside. At the meeting house today, we are celebrating Sunday Fun Day and are worshiping outside. So the text that I've chosen for this morning is from Romans 1:20 from the Message version. By taking a long and thoughtful look at what God has created, people have always been able to see what their eyes as such can't see. Eternal power, for instance, and the mystery of the divine being. I don't know how many times I have been trying to come up with a solution to a problem, or trying to get a sermon started, or just wanting to deal with or work out something frustrating, and realize that what I really needed was to go take a walk. take a walk around our neighborhood, or head out in our backyard, or get in the car and head to a park or natural setting. This was a little easier in Oregon, but I've come to find some wonderful places in nature here in Indiana as well. Heading outside allows me to unwind. Drinking in the greenery, the blossoms, the bird song, my thoughts begin to flow again. Over numerous years of research, I've found that many creative spirits, like you and me, have found inspiration and motivation and rejuvenation in the natural world. As both a person of words and a visual learner, one of the reasons I find clarity in nature is because it does not require words. As friend and author Doug Gwynn says, one of our biggest difficulties, I think, is that we live so much in language and so much in a mediated world of electronic media and print media, all of which tends to distance us from our connection to the natural world. Getting into that sense beyond language is not only healthy for personal spiritual renewal, but it is also crucial to reconnecting with the natural world, which is a nonverbal world. Well, last year when Sue and I took 2 months to explore the lives of 3 extremely creative people, Laura Ingalls Wilder, George O'Keeffe, and Walt Disney, we found what inspired, motivated, and rejuvenated them was nature. From standing on the banks of the creek on the farm in Marceline, Missouri, where a young Walt Disney sat under his dreaming tree, to having lunch on the porch of the Ghost Ranch outside of Santa Fe, New Mexico, looking across the red hills at the mountain Cerro Pedernal, which appears in 28 of George O'Keeffe's paintings and where her ashes are spread, to feeling the cool wind on a summer day catching us off guard on the prairie in Des Moines, South Dakota, where Laura Ingalls Wilder both struggled to survive and found a simple beauty that gave context to her stories. And that was not all. We followed their adventures through some of the most beautiful places in our country, from the Grand Canyon, through the deserts, to the shores and woods of California. These 3 creative spirits continued to seek nature for continued motivation, inspiration, and rejuvenation. What I found ironic is that most of what we knew about these 3 people were through books we read about them or by them. Not until going and experience the places of natural beauty ourselves could we more fully understand or see. This was getting beyond language, beyond books and printed media. It was putting us in spaces where nature was working on our body, mind, and spirit and creativity in a way that our daily lives within buildings and offices and classrooms and even in the vehicles that we drive could not accomplish. Sue and I walked away from this experience with a lot to process, and I'm still processing it today. We knew that growing up on farms and engaging nature was part of the overall process for these 3, but not quite like what we found when we put ourselves in the places that inspired them. This morning, we have chosen to put ourselves outside for worship. We are intentionally engaging nature this morning, and in many ways, nature is calling upon us to engage. I wonder what we might see differently, how we might play more freely, create more uniquely, and connect more deeply. Scientists have what they have labeled attention restoration theory, or its acronym ART, which I think is ironic. As I've been processing my own creative expressions and considering my experiences in nature, I've returned to attention restoration theory on several occasions. Attention restoration theory is having something other than work to focus on, which lets the brain recover from cognitively demanding tasks. Getting into nature is ideal for attention restoration as it triggers something known as soft fascination. This means that the natural environment attracts your attention in a pleasant, gentle way that doesn't demand your full or deep focus. Unlike other restful activities like reading or watching TV or playing a game on our phone, enjoying the breeze in a park or listening to the birds in our backyard doesn't require your attention. Actually, science suggests that you and I are instinctively drawn to other living things, whether that is plants or animals or landscape or friends and partners. Additionally, research shows that green spaces encourage a more meditative, open mindset, meaning that we may be primed to take notice and accept inspiration more readily while out in nature. This is why we worship outside at least once a year. I wonder what would happen if our committees met outside on occasion, or small groups met in parks, or we took walks with each other to process the issues of our meeting. This is not something new for us spiritual beings. In 1652, the founder of Quakerism, George Fox, traveled from Yorkshire to Lancashire and felt led by the Spirit to climb Pendle Hill, a huge mass of green space. This natural space is so important to Fox's greater vision, and the Spirit led him there to better see what he was to do. Jesus was led by the Spirit into the desert for 40 days, where upon his return had a clearer vision for his ministry. He also goes often throughout Scripture to be alone, in nature, a garden, on the water, among the olive groves. Buddha experienced enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. Even the story of Islam's formation starts outside in a cave called Hira, where the Prophet Muhammad loved to hike and climb and explore caves. Almost all of the creation stories on this planet begin in a garden. And I could go on, but this morning I want to offer us an opportunity to be present in nature and see where the Spirit nudges and guides us. I've prepared a short guided meditation. It will obviously utilize words, but in the end, it will leave you silent in this beautiful space. To help us get into a place of connection with nature and the Spirit, I ask that you find a posture where you can feel comfortable, where you feel safe in the environment you're in. Some of you may want to lay down on the grass, and others just sit comfortably in a chair. You are free to move to a different place than you are currently. Let's find that position now. Next, you can close your eyes for just a few moments to center down. Just let your attention settle and the busyness of your mind subside. Take a moment to acknowledge your body, sensing your physical body touching the ground, whether that is your entire body or just your feet. Feel your connection with the earth. Feel the support of the land, of the earth under you. It's always there, present, supportive, nourishing. You may want to take off your shoes and allow your feet to make a natural connection to the ground. And as you sense your breath, consider that with each inhale, you're taking in oxygen that's released from the leaves and the plants and the plankton. And each exhale is releasing carbon dioxide that's reabsorbed by plant and tree life, either nearby or far away. Sense how it's just that simple breath that's connecting you to this vast web of life. Do you feel any sense of appreciation as you inhale? That the life, trees and grasses sustain you and nourishes you? And with the exhale, maybe there's a sense of well-wishing, warmth and love and appreciation to all the photosynthesizing life that allows you and all breathing beings to live and to survive. Now, take a moment to reflect on a time when you were recently engaged by some experience in nature, something that moved you. Perhaps it was an encounter with an animal or a bird, or perhaps it was a tree in a forest or an ocean or a sunset or the night sky. Recalling that experience and then extending your heart with a sense of warmth and kindness, love, well-wishing toward whatever it was that moved you. Perhaps you're radiating a sense of kindness, friendliness. Thank the Spirit for reminding you and showing you this. And now, since we are sitting outside, you may choose to open your eyes and look around. Take in the trees or the grasses and the plants or whatever part of the landscape draws you. And again, extending a sense of warmth and friendliness, love. You can do that through silent phrases that express your heart's wish for life. May these grasses, may these trees, may all the beings that live here, animals, birds, insects, be healthy. May they be safe and protected. Use whatever words come to you that express your heart's wish for the life all around you. Say these words silently. Repeat them a few times. They can be inspired by whatever is around you or whatever comes into your mind and heart. Consider whatever part of nature engages your spirit to whatever you wish to extend this sense of warmth and loving kindness. May all the beings on this earth be safe and protected from harm. May all endangered species and all species be safe. May all creatures be happy and thrive. And may all life be healthy, vital, and express themselves creatively. Now notice the people sitting or lying around you. They too are part of creation, creatures who need safety and protection. Maybe they are a spouse or a family member or a loved one or a friend. Consider how they have supported, cared for you, and inspired you. What have they taught you, created for you, and offered you? What have you taught them, created for them, and offered them? Extend to them a silent blessing of safety and protection and gratitude for having them in your life. Now, sensing into the life around you, radiate a sense of warmth and kindness as you hold all these things in the light and in silence. You may be sensing into how this experience of love is a process of giving and receiving. You may be feeling how loved or touched you are by the natural world and how the heart naturally wants to respond with offering loving kindness and well-wishing. You may sense a new gratitude and appreciation for those around you. And finally, you may desire to find a way to respond, to create something, to change something, to connect or relate more deeply in this moment. Consider what that may be. And of course, including oneself as part of the Earth's moving surface, and including all peoples everywhere, those near and far, those you know and don't know. May all these beings or peoples or creatures everywhere be safe from harm and be protected. Live with health, with creativity, with happiness, with safety. Allow the heart to radiate in all directions to all elements of the earth, to the life that lives here. Finally, let's enter some time of silence. Take time to reflect on what you've experienced and allow yourself to sense the Spirit's guiding and nudging this morning.
born of land and sky and sea, all created in thine image, all to live in harmony. Show to us again thy garden, where all life flows fresh and free. Gently guide thy sons and daughters into full maturity. Teach us how to trust each other, how to use for good our power, how to touch the earth with reverence, then once more we'll eat and flower. Bless the earth and all thy children, one creation, make us whole, interwoven, all connected, planet-wide and inmost soul. Holy Mother, life bestowing, bid our waste and warfare cease. Fill us with grace overflowing. Teach us how to live in peace.
We close this time of worship with a Quaker prayer. God, open our eyes and unstop our ears, that we may see your light and may hear your heartbeat, reflecting and resounding within our chests, in those of all our neighbors, near and far, in all creatures and plants, and in the ground we walk upon. When we finally are able to yield to the leading of your rhythm and flow, may we come to walk cheerfully over the world, answering that of you in all. Amen. Have a great week, friends.